Hi, welcome back. My name is Cole.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is CTRL-AC.
CTRL-AC is the podcast where we talk about IP, both the IPX rating and intellectual property.
Which I don't have any of.
You do not have an IP rating?
I don't have any intellectual.
You just break in the water?
I just don't have a brain. I'm just kidding.
So we were not here. I was not here last week. I was at the beach. You were at the beach the week before. And I learned something.
What'd you learn, Andrew?
So IP ratings.
Yeah.
My watch has one. My phone has one. It's a rating to show how well a phone does under water and dust conditions. So if your phone's IP68 rated, that means it's a 6 for dust resistance and an 8 for water resistance. IP68 is pretty standard across phones. That doesn't apply to sand. So I'm chilling at the beach and I take out my phone. I don't think anything of it.
Right. Who would?
I put it down on the beach towel. I put it back in my pocket. It's fine. And I'm wearing my watch, and I decide to dig a hole, because what else are you going to do at the beach?
Right.
And I dig a hole, and I don't think anything of it. And there's sand all over my Apple Watch, so I brush it off, wash it off with water, because it's waterproof. And I get back, and the next day, or no, that night, I plug my phone in and I just hear a crunch and it doesn't charge. And I unplug the phone, the charger, and sand is just falling out of the charging port. So that was fun.
I brought my AirPods to the beach when I went. That was a very bad idea.
Did it get in the speaker grill or will it like...
It got everywhere. Like in the slots for the AirPods, like where they go. In the AirPods, in the speaker, in the little lanyard loop, in the charger.
Yeah.
So I got a towel, folded it twice, put it on a table and went for like 2 minutes and it all got out eventually. And got a Q-tip and got it very slightly wet and got it to stick to it. It wasn't fun.
Okay, well that's basically what happened to my phone then.
Right, it's bad.
Then the next day, I want to launch an app on my watch. So I click the crown and it doesn't click. And I start rotating the crown and it starts crunching. So I look and there's sand in the crown, in the little gap between it. So I'm panicking. Mm-hmm. And I go and get the highest pressure water dispensing appliance I have, which was the sink. And I just run it under the water. I put my hand at the very bottom of the sink. So it was the most pressure possible. And I eventually got it out. But that being said, when taking your electronics to the beach, the elements will not break them. The water, you'll be fine. But don't put them in the sand. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah, just don't bring your tech to the beach. None of it.
Savor the moment.
Right.
Take a picture, put your phone in your beach bag.
Bring a Walmart wireless speaker.
Yeah. Stuff that you're okay with being ruined.
Right. Don't bring headphones. Don't bring watches. Bring your phone because you still need your phone. But don't bring it anywhere while you're there.
And take your watch off before you build a sandcastle.
Yeah, just don't bring your watch. Because then you'll get a tan line too, and it's just a whole bad experience.
I think I have the craziest watch tan line. Actually, no.
My mom's is really bad. Yeah.
That being said.
So yeah, don't do that. Okay. So we talk about Elon for a while, pretty much every week, right?
It's not because we want to. It's that he's genuinely the biggest story of the week. But we're tired of it.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve all of our time. So every week, Andrew's going to set a timer for 44 seconds.
Elon bought Twitter for $44 billion.
So that's why 44 seconds.
Okay, you ready?
Give me a second. 3, 2, 1, go.
So Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg on Threads, not Twitter, posts a thread that says, I think we can all agree Elon isn't serious and it's time to move on. This is in regards to the fight. I offered a real date. Dana White offered to make this a legit competition for charity. Elon won't confirm a date. Elon on Twitter said, knock, knock, challenge accepted. Open the door, Mark Zuckerberg. He then said for the Tesla full self-driving test drive, he will go to Mark Zuckerberg's house and fight him there. So we don't know if this fight's actually happening. It looks like it's not going to happen. This week on Twitter, Elon said they're removing the block feature, so you can no longer block accounts. You can only block people who DM you, which is going to mean that all the bots that follow you, you can't block, so they're still going to have to follow you, and you can only block them if they DM you.
1. Done. So that was this week on Elon.
So that's this week. We're done. We'll do 44 seconds next week.
And we'll post a clip on our YouTube if you want to go rewatch that.
If you want to...
And we'll slow it down a bit so you don't...
I did my best. We'll get better at this. 44 seconds every week.
Yep.
So what is that? Like less than 4 minutes a month? It's like 3 minutes a month?
Right.
That's good. Unless he tweets at us.
Which he won't.
X is at us. Elon,
he posts at us.
Yeah, Elon, if you retweet our podcast, we will we'll give you an entire hour-long episode.
Like we will praise Elon for an entire episode.
1 hour.
If you tell people to go listen to us.
Yes.
Because we'll get like a lot. Anyways.
Speaking of internet personalities who basically run their platform.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. This is a hilarious story.
This is stupid.
So Mr. Beast is suing Beast Burgers. So back during the pandemic, Mr. Beast launched Beast Burger. Everyone kind of was confused at the beginning because it isn't really a restaurant. It's a ghost kitchen. So there are a bunch of restaurants that were struggling during the pandemic, and Beast Burger was basically a way for all of these restaurants to make burgers for Mr. Beast and then deliver them to people via DoorDash, Uber Eats, all that. And this is kind of a method that other restaurants have used. You have a brand, you send your food and recipe stuff out to all these smaller restaurants. They prepare the food under your name and send it to people.
Right.
There are apparently a bunch of reports of the burgers just straight up being raw. Like the company's virtual dining concepts, and fans have said that they are revolting, disgusting, and so nasty in like dozens of reviews. There's a huge lawsuit packet with just a bunch of actual reviews with photos of raw burgers from Beast Burger. So Mr. Beast is suing them because, quote, as a result, Mr. Beast Burger has been regarded as a misleading, poor reflection of the Mr. Beast brand that provides low-quality products to customers that are delivered late in unbranded packaging, fail to include the ordered items, and in some instances were inedible. So I can understand this because like I wouldn't want to ship out raw burgers to people if you're Mr. Beast.
Right.
So he's suing them.
Or just in general.
Yeah.
Like,
so, and then Virtual Dining Concepts said, well, two can play at that game. We're suing you too. So now Beast Burger is suing Mr. Beast for $100 million. They're basically saying that Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast, didn't deliver on his contractual obligations, including publicity and promotional work. I don't know how, because he promoted
He
Beast
rented
Burger.
out an entire mall for the first opening.
He could not have promoted it more.
He plugged it in almost every video.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
they're not going to win.
Maybe it's because now he's like all in on Feastables.
Right.
And not as much Beast Burger. But they're basically saying that like they made Mr. Beast famous. Which isn't even like
that's not even remotely true.
Without Beast Burger, Mr. Beast would have the same number of YouTube subscribers.
Probably more.
So who knows? This is just funny.
Yeah.
Like he sues them, they sue him back. Like this is peak YouTube drama.
Actually, no, it's not, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So that's
we'll do burger updates every week.
So, speaking of buying things, because you buy a burger, can you buy a company that's been around for a century?
So in a earnings call for Disney, CEO Bob Iger was asked what he thinks about selling Disney to Apple. Crazy question. And he said, quote, it's not something that we obsess about. Not a yes,
But
not a no. It's not something they obsess about. And he said, obviously, anyone who wanted to speculate about these things would have to immediately consider the global regulatory environment. I'll say no more than that. So the guy basically said, it's not that we don't want to, it's that we can't.
Right.
If you think about this, Apple is the most valuable company in the world. Disney has some of the most valuable IP in the world.
Yeah.
Like the Disney name, the
Right.
parks, the characters, all of the licenses, it's crazy. And if Apple bought that, so if let's just unpack what they would get. So Apple would have Disney theme parks. So Apple Pay through Disney theme parks, I don't know. Apple would have all of the character IP. They would get Marvel rights.
Right.
They would have ABC.
Star Wars.
They would have ESPN. And we know Apple's like super into sports because they just signed the MLB contract thing for baseball. So ESPN Plus could merge with Apple TV Plus. Apple TV Plus could just like combine with Disney Plus.
Don't they own Paramount too?
They may. So Apple TV Plus then becomes like the most powerful streaming service.
Right.
Doesn't Disney own Hulu?
I don't think so.
Well, they have some kind of partnership because it's the Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney bundle.
And Max.
Do they own Max too?
No, they don't own Max. HBO owns Max.
So now Apple has a partnership with Hulu then. Like the streaming side of that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
They're not going to let this happen. Like I genuinely don't believe the same people who didn't let Microsoft buy Activision aren't going to let this happen.
Right.
Like it cannot happen. They own Pixar too.
I'd love to see the response if they go over to the FTC and ask if they can do this. The
Right.
EU's not going to do this, and the FTC is definitely not going to do this.
I think, me personally, Microsoft should have been allowed to buy Activision. I think that would have been a solid acquisition.
At the end, they did.
They did end up getting it?
Yeah. They finally caved and they were allowed to buy it.
Huh.
But that's like Microsoft and This is Apple and
this
Disney.
is way bigger. Like billions
The
of dollars
most valuable company in the world buying Disney.
The second most valuable company
Yeah,
in the world.
one of the most...
Okay, what is Disney's like net? 158 billion. Apple's
$3 trillion.
is 2.75 trillion. Yeah, 3 trillion.
Yeah.
So
So they could afford it.
they could afford it.
They should turn Apple Park into a theme park.
Oh my god.
Literal Apple Park. An Apple roller coaster. That'd be crazy. What would they do with an Apple roller coaster?
Have it like a whole like, I don't know. It's just Steve Jobs' face on the front of a roller.
Whoa. Wait.
And it's like if AI voiceover of him talking.
You know the Disney things where you like have a magic wand?
Mm-hmm.
It's just an Apple pencil. You're drawing on it. Everyone wears Vision Pros through the whole thing.
None of it's real. You just sit in a little
That'd be amazing.
40 box that just blows air on you and moves.
That'd be amazing.
That would be terrible.
And the weird thing about this too, Bob Iger is going to retire in 2026.
That's only like 3 years away.
And Tim Cook is going to step down pretty soon.
That's scary. Who's going to take over though? Do we know?
Take over Apple?
Yeah, like ownership, like wise.
It has to be Craig.
It probably, yeah.
Like charisma level, like respect in the general tech. Like I see no better fit. He was asked by Joanna Stern from the Wall Street Journal, and he just said insanity.
Your name's being floated.
Insanity.
I would see him taking over, but like you have Tim Cook now buying Disney
Right.
and then just saying, well, so long, guys. And then Bob Iger's gone too. So it can't happen because of FTC
Right.
and monopolistic prevention laws.
What would Disney gain by doing this?
I don't know. Like you can clearly see what Apple gains. It's all streaming. It's crazy. I don't know what Disney gains. We'll
Like
get more. We'll get more Mickey Mouse Apple Watch faces. We'll spend even more
Probably.
time at the keynote on that. But wasn't Bob Iger in the keynote? He was in Dub Dub for Vision Pro, talking about like Marvel Vision Pro content.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a relationship going. Who knows though? If it actually happens, that would be insane. And we'll go to Apple World.
Apple Disney Park.
That'd be crazy. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll talk about some new car stuff and some heavy allegations. Control-AC is sponsored by The Complete Backyard. The Complete Backyard is a custom outdoor design and living space build company. Basically, you tell them what your dream backyard looks like, and they will build it. From an outdoor kitchen to a pool, cabana, hot tub, pretty much whatever you want, they've got you covered. For a consultation, you can go to thecompletebackyard.com.
So, I've got this cheeky little website called Reddit. Reddit's helpful, especially with like lots of questions about like cars and tech and just.
You know, every time I have a question about a product or something,
Just
I
type
type
Reddit
the
after.
question into Google and then Reddit after. How to fix something, Reddit.
Because somebody's done it.
Best like battery bank, Reddit. It's great.
Okay. So this question is from an individual who contacted a tech support at a company I'm not going to state and said, how do I pirate software? Andrew hasn't heard this question yet. So I'm going to give myself like 2 minutes. It's unethical and it's dangerous. It's like if you've ever been on Reddit, there's a subreddit called Unethical Life Pro Tips, right? It's like how to do things that aren't technically illegal for the individual. Like it's legal, but it's not great, right? It's pirating. Like it's not illegal to pirate software per se, but it's unethical and you're stealing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna admit I did it when I was little. I got a virus on my computer. It's dangerous.
Right.
I was like 10. I pirated COD.
And we know everyone like would burn music that wasn't theirs.
Right, to say like
Sell it. They'd
yeah.
burn games. Like it's been around for a while.
And Linus put it really well. This is actually he called it pirateering. We talked about it a while ago. If you own content, like if you own something, like let's say I paid for Adobe and I had it connected to because you can only have it maxed out at 3 devices,
Right.
Signed in at one time. But you needed it on a work computer, but you had it on your computer. Your parents or siblings used it on their computers too. I pay for the software, but I can't add any more people without like doubling that payment.
Right.
But I already pay for it, and it's just me using it, but just on another device. So in that case, I would pirate the software, but really I'm still paying for where I use the software. It's great. It's a really gray area, or like old games,
Right.
like 3DS games or like just old DS games, N64
That aren't sold anymore.
Yeah, they're sold. They're all
something like
broken.
that.
None of them work. It's still like bad, but like if you own it, if you own the game, right? Like let's say you have the cartridge,
Right.
but it doesn't work, or you want to play it on a second device, right? Then you can pirate it, and it's pirateering because you've already paid for the content. Why pay for it again?
Right.
That's like paying for a Netflix subscription that you don't use and then paying for it again to watch the same shows, but you just have an empty Netflix account.
And
like,
it kind of leads to the conversation too of ad blockers, which we've already talked about, which we should do like a deep dive episode on.
We should.
Because using an ad blocker, you're taking content that you should have paid for with your ad view that you're now no longer paying for,
Right.
quote unquote. Again, it's a gray area.
Mm-hmm.
But to the Reddit guy asking how do you pirate, we're not going to tell you because you shouldn't really do it.
Right.
But it's very gray. And it's an interesting topic.
Yeah, do your research
Don't get a virus.
and don't get Anyways, don't do it.
Pay for stuff.
Yeah.
We should answer more Reddit questions. Should
I
be
think-
like a recurring.
I think we should start doing that. We'll probably do 2 to 3 an episode.
We should. Those are fun.
Well, we're going to do 1 for today. Okay.
You know what else is fun? 700 horsepower SUVs. Cadillac
Yeah.
has an electric Escalade with a 450-mile range, which is actually pretty good.
Fully electric?
Fully electric. It's called the Escalade IQ. It has 680 horsepower, 615 pounds-feet of torque. It has a Velocity Max mode, which bumps it up to 750 horsepower. and 785 pounds-feet of torque.
Goodness.
Sub 5 second 0 to 60 in velocity max. I love that name.
Does it have the next gen CarPlay?
Nope. So the Escalade IQ it can tow up to 8,000 pounds. It has a 55-inch dual screen display up front.
It's pretty big. And then a second one little below it.
It runs Android Automotive OS. Which, okay, this is Android Automotive OS, is not Android Auto. Android Auto is the thing that's powered by your phone. Android Automotive
It's like
is the built-in car operating system.
Okay, so
They're different things.
Yeah. So this is like an API basically, but like an operator.
It's what the whole thing runs on.
Okay, that makes sense.
This does not have Android Auto or CarPlay.
That doesn't make sense.
So here's my whole thing with them getting rid of CarPlay. It's always the EVs too. They think their screens are so good. The thing is, your UI that you can make as a car company probably going to be better than Android Auto and CarPlay. But your Cadillac maps are not going to be as good. Android Automotive, not Auto, Android Automotive.
Do we know if this basically uses the same thing as Android Auto?
It runs Google Maps, I believe,
Okay.
with Android Automotive.
So it's
you
not
have
like
Google Maps.
The Lexus proprietary little map thing is
Right.
pretty garbage.
It's not like having,
Yeah.
Honda Maps in your car instead of Apple Maps. But I don't love this.
No, I think it looks kind of cool. It kind of okay. Actually, I take that back. It looks stupid. It looks like a what is it? Looks like a 4-door Chevy Colorado
I don't know. It
with
looks
a little
weird.
thing on the back. It looks pretty stupid. It's fast. Just go buy a Durango SRT
Just go buy an Escalade V.
or that. Yeah,
Escalade V is amazing. That thing sounds so good.
and it's got CarPlay
it's car.
and it's gas.
You have more horsepower too, right?
Right, and it's not $130,000.
Escalade V horsepower. You have 682.
So basically the same thing, and it's gas, so you get the vroom. Sorry.
Yeah, the Escalade V sounds so good. Let me get a clip here.
Quad exhaust outlets that sound absolutely nuts. Your neighbors are definitely going to complain. Let's take a listen.
Like, give me that in CarPlay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah.
it's the same price too with a dealer markup. The Escalade V is
Dude.
like 130,000, and the Escalade IQ EV is 130,000.
The only reason you would buy this is if you already had an electric car ecosystem like built into your life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just get the V. Still on EVs, sadly. New Tesla specs.
But not really new Tesla.
Right.
There's now a standard range version of the Model S and X. So normally, last week, you'd have the long range and then the Plaid. Plaid takes all the headlines, but you still can save like 20 grand and get the long range. Now, if you go to order a Model S, you have a standard range version that starts at $78,490. Model S normal is what it's called now, is $88,490, and Model S Plaid is $108,490. So the standard range Model S has 320 mile range, top speed of 149, 0 to 60 in a really slow 3.7.
Atrocious.
I know,
So bad.
terrible.
Anyways, they did a bad thing and they locked a fifth of the battery percentage. Software locked. The battery is still there.
It is the long range Model S, but the battery is software locked, which is absolutely insane. That their margins are so good that they actually can profit on this and like the normal one. Like
It's a different price too, right?
yeah,
So they're selling the same car,
locked.
but with more.
Like if they can still make money on the locked one, imagine what their margins are for the more expensive one. That's the
Right.
same car.
This is BMW with their heated seats.
It's crazy. No wonder their quality control is so bad.
Because they're putting their
How
time
high
into
can we
making
get these
software.
margins?
Yeah. Tesla, stop it. Elon, you're doing bad things and we don't like it.
No. We mentioned Elon outside the 44 seconds.
No, we mentioned Tesla,
Oh, we're
which
good?
Elon owns, but we didn't mention
You
his.
said his name.
It doesn't count.
Okay.
Okay, so
This is
we've got some sad, like, we've got some controversy, you guys.
this is a much heavier story than what we usually do. We're choosing to talk about it just because of the fact that this is really relevant
yeah.
in our industry.
We know not all of you like know who this is or like what they do or what's going on.
So Linus Tech Tips,
My favorite.
I think Tech YouTube is run by Marquez and Linus. Like they are the tech kings of YouTube. Maybe iJustine's in there.
No, I really don't think
In
so.
terms of like subscriber count, maybe.
Like you don't really hear
but
about
in terms
like,
of influence,
right.
it's Marquez and Linus.
Exactly.
Marquez is chilling. Linus not right now.
So
can you kind of give like a recap of the Gamer Nexus thing?
So the Gamers Nexus problem was at, I think, was it LTX or on like somebody from the writing team, not like the spokesperson or anything who like
Right.
knows the information. Somebody from the writing team was asked a question and asked like what the testing process compared to like somebody else's, and they mentioned Gamers Nexus because the way LTT tests their stuff, they test they get all of their data for every video every single time.
They
like
retest
new data
everything.
with new drivers, new like updated everything.
If they test a 4090 and they get a score, and then they get a 4080, when they compare them, they will retest
They
the
will
4090.
retest the 4090 with the like late, even if it's the same drivers, they'll
Right.
retest it, right? So
Just
they
for the
said-
sake of good ethics.
Exactly.
Right.
like just to be like straightforward and transparent about it,
Yeah.
which is like usually their whole thing. We'll get into that in a second. And they said something like Gamers Nexus, they use old data, but they said it like in a kind of like condescending, we're better than you kind of way.
Right.
And the dude from Gamers Nexus wasn't chill with that.
There was a whole video from
Yeah.
Gamer Nexus.
And Linus responded saying that that's not how that was even remotely meant to come off as, because something like Gamers Nexus, they don't need to test data like that like they do. Like they don't have the capacity or like something like that to do everything that LMG does, right? So they just bought a lab, and they can put that time and effort into that. But something like Gamers Nexus isn't run by 150 plus people.
I watched Linus's video response to that whole controversy. It was 20 plus minutes.
Yeah.
There were a lot of criticisms of that video.
There was a lot, and he also talked about it on the WAN show because Linus, he's said before that he's just like an impulsive person. He just kind of like says stuff, right?
Which is dangerous in this
Which
world.
is dangerous because everything that you say can be taken out of context really badly. He's impulsive and he says stuff like even if he doesn't mean it, like he says like
He
stuff.
can
right?
be impulsive,
Yeah,
which a lot of YouTube
a
creators
lot
are.
of people are.
It's a
impulsive.
competitive industry.
I'm impulsive, but their apology video was.
It was very scripted.
It was yeah.
They had a bunch of jokes in there. They had a fake ad read. They had a screwdriver merch plug.
The LTT store plug.
They left monetization on, which got them a lot of criticism.
Okay, but so I've got a hot take about that. As an account, as a channel with that many subscribers, if they don't monetize every video, they lose a crap ton of money.
Yeah, but
Because of the amount of, like, he still has to pay all those workers for making that video and being in the shots and the editors and the script writers. He's still got to make payments, which is
Right.
like thousands of dollars.
But the argument is if you do something that gets you in trouble, your apology to the thing you did should not
Right.
be making you more money.
I think that the video
But
itself...
they did turn it off. They
did.
eventually turned off monetization,
Yeah.
which is good. And they joked at the end that Dbrand offered to sponsor the video, and they said no. That was the last thing in the video. I don't know if that's true or not, but they ended the whole thing on a joke. But the summary was they said they're committed to testing more. They're going to showcase the testing process, more quality control effort. And they even said they're going to switch to a reduced upload schedule to
That
focus
kind of
more
makes
on.
me sad because they used to upload like sometimes twice a day.
They're cranking out one video a day, which is hard to quality control that
Right.
with as high quality as they tried to be. So reduced schedule may mean better quality. We'll see, but it ended on a pretty good note.
Yeah.
It seemed, at least Linus's part, seemed sincere.
Like it seemed like an actual apology. They're a meme channel. Like that, like
right.
everything they do is a meme. Okay, so I have a hot take. Again, I think that everything they said in the video was okay. I honestly don't think the jokes were bad in that video specifically, but they should have said they should have made like a separate shorter video, like actually apologizing for the misconception that happened. He apologized on the WAN show too. Like he genuinely like apologized and was like, that's not what was like portrayed and everything. We're just
Right.
trying to do our best, right? Because they're still people.
Right.
And people say things and people make mistakes, right? Especially with somebody who can't QC everything and they can't control all 100+ employees.
Right.
So I think that their video is okay. I don't think that taking monetization off, I don't think monetizing the video was a bad idea because they would have lost a lot of money. Like if you really think about it. Like
they kind of should have. They made a mistake. Their apology video shouldn't
like if
they
Gamers
shouldn't
Nexus
help them.
if Gamers Nexus monetizes video,
Well, but their video is more of an accusation video.
right? But if they monetize that would be fine, right? Like I think it's okay. I think people are genuinely overreacting to it just because like these people all joined it. Like LMG is a meme.
Right.
Like you can't go on
like their video was, we apologize, screwdriver plug.
right. But
PR-wise,
that's them. Like
I know that's them, but like
everything they do has some kind of plug to them, right?
right.
And I think that's okay. That's
He has the cleanest segues I've ever heard into a sponsorship.
ever.
It's crazy.
But
so that's all
yeah.
fine.
So
we
this
forgive
is,
Linus.
Yeah.
That was
I'm pretty sure Gamers Nexus forgives him because he knows that wasn't a direct like attack at him now. Like I think they've solved that.
And then the very same
day.
at
We've got
1:09 in the morning. There's an employee for LMG. Her name's Madison. She's been in videos before.
yes.
She put out a thread that is, it's an incredibly long thread.
So long. It took me like an hour.
Probably like 50 tweets.
Yeah.
And she accused Linus of, in summary, a toxic work environment, a sexist work environment, a generally like verbally abusive work environment. She was expected to manage a bunch of stuff and she was told not to complain because she had the fun job. She said it brought her mental health to an all-time low. They joked about firing her. She was in charge. There's a lot of stuff that she said, and we just don't have time to read all of this. So we're kind of nitpicking here. But she said there are genuinely amazing people who work at LMG. But she said that it sucks that ego and a bottom line are slowly destroying some of them and hurting the entire reputation of the company. I encourage you to go read the thread. But this put Linus in really hot water. Because now, after all of the Gamers Nexus stuff, now he's accused of having an abusive work environment. That got a bunch of responses from all of tech Twitter. Linus put out a tweet that says, we're taking the allegations seriously. They're conducting an internal assessment. They're bringing in a third-party investigator. They're shutting down production of all videos for the next week. And he said, this isn't the environment we promote. It's not what we stand for. They're canceling the WAN show this week.
I'm so sad about that.
It's a lot. So these are allegations. We're waiting on a video response from Linus. We're waiting on the investigation. It doesn't look good, but we don't know.
I'm not going to comment very much on this because we don't know. Like, we don't know anything. Like,
Right.
we don't work for the company.
Right.
We don't know anybody that works for the company.
We have no way to
The
completely
only thing that
verify
I'm going to
this.
say is, if I was treated poorly multiple times, I would want to burn the thing to the ground.
Yeah, who knows?
Like, she could be heavily exaggerating or she could be spot on.
We just don't know.
So we'll update probably next week if we get more information.
This is obviously extremely damaging to one of the biggest tech empires of the internet.
Like ever. Like
This is something that sponsors are going to look at. We don't know how many sponsors he's going to lose over this because no one wants to be associated
and they've
with
got to
someone.
pay for that lab still.
Exactly. So
I really do wish the best for everybody in this scenario.
we'll see. We'll be updating this once Linus puts out more statements, but we imagine it's pretty chaotic over at Linus Media Group.
They're probably all working on it right now, so we'll figure out. We'll have more information next week.
And with that,
That is the end
that should be it.
of episode 44.
We're both back from vacation for
So we
good.
should be good for a bit. We might change our upload schedule based on some things, but we'll figure that out as we go.
But we will be back next week
Correct.
with more Elon for 44 seconds.
Yes.
More EVs, hopefully no more allegations, and definitely some more Reddit questions. We also have a new Twitter for Control-AC. You can go follow us over there.
It's CTRL-AC.
And while you're on there, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to send us a Cadillac EV so we can put it,
That we can sell and then get the V.
that we can put a CarPlay screen in. Just take out the 55-inch screen, slap a Pioneer CarPlay in it. You can reach us there. I'm at Utterly Drew,
And I'm at Cole WW Webb.
and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.